Hey there comic book fans, I'm John Andersen and I just binge watched Daredevil Season 2 and it was awesome. Now I understand you guys are probably still working on the season, so I wanted to put out just a general afterthoughts video on the season as a whole, spoiler free. And I'll be putting out more spoiler heavy videos throughout the week, so look out for those. I'll leave annotations in this video or in the description as they become available, but look out for videos on episodes 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12, and the season finale. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now, if you love Daredevil Season 1, then you'll definitely love Daredevil Season 2, if not a little bit more, because it brings back all the elements that we loved about the first season and adds their own new elements to it. The main cast returns and they have great chemistry and great conflict when the season needs it to be, and there's a lot of returning characters from Season 1 that I won't spoil here, but look out because there's too many to count. Now, in terms of new characters, we have Jon Bernthal's Frank Castle, the Punisher, and he's probably the biggest standout of the season because not only is he violent and brutal, but he has a lot of depth and has probably the greatest scene in the season. If you've seen it already, you probably know what I'm talking about, but look out for a great performance by Jon Bernthal. And the Punisher is a great juxtaposition to Daredevil because it's similar to the relationship between Ra's al Ghul and Bruce Wayne for Batman Begins, where you have this person that thinks to stop evil, you have to kill that evil person, and you have somebody else that thinks that justice will prevail and people deserve a second chance. And Daredevil's constantly struggling with that throughout the season, and you never really know if he's going to break his code because he's being challenged constantly by other people and events that happen throughout the season. And we're also introduced to Elektra, who has a history with Matt Murdock, and they have great chemistry on screen. And she kind of coaxes him to go on missions with her out of necessity for his city and the fact that he kind of owes her. And that brings a lot of conflict to the main cast of Nelson and Murdock because they have this huge court case that they're working on, and Matt is just not really with it because he's running around with Elektra doing miscellaneous things that involves the Hand Clan and turns into something a lot bigger as the season goes on. Now, the look and feel of the season is very reminiscent of Season 1, very dark, very gritty, which makes it a little hard to see some of the action sequences, but not that big a deal because Daredevil is blind. And speaking of action sequences, I know you're curious to see if there's a scene that rivals the hallway scene that is a clear homage to Old Boy or The Raid with that one take of him beating the crap out of people. And all I'll say is there's definitely a scene that does that, and it ups the ante for sure. My only real nitpick for the season is that when Matt is Daredevil, he doesn't really act blind. Like, he'll be walking around with Elektra and be like, well, look at this crate. And I'm kind of like, how would you know that that crate is there? And I understand they do make an effort to use his senses as a way for him to see, but there's certain times that they don't really explain it, and it's kind of apparent that, like, you have to see to know what they're talking about. But again, that's a minor nitpick, and they kind of explain it in Season 1. I would have liked like a little refresher on how he sees, because that was never really clear to me. Now that's my thoughts on Daredevil Season 2 as a whole. If you guys haven't started yet, what are you waiting for? Because Daredevil Season 2 is marvelous. As always, guys, remember, if you like this video, be sure to share and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook at John Ryan Andersen, or on Instagram and Twitter at The Comic Look. And remember, guys, as always, comics do deserve a second look.